Launch authorized.
Mark minus 15 minutes 30 seconds.
The mission directors authorize it. Now the satellite is ready.
Minus 35 seconds. Minus 25. Minus 20 seconds. Minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
There they come on.
3, 2, 1, 0. That's 1, 2. Go ahead.
Lift up normal. ISRO, you have done us proud. Bravo.
What a majestic sight. And there it is, GSLV D1. Well, the GSLV D1 has just been declared a completely successful mission which has performed absolutely up to expectation.
On the 18th of April 2001, with the successful launch of the GSLV, India became one of the 6 nations of the world with the technology to place satellites in the geosynchronous orbit.
I think, but it was the most exciting and probably the most fruitful 17 minutes we ever had.
Dai, kutte! Dai, kutte!
Pocket money
The
kuta na
man
school
who started
pove.
the great mission was R.V. Perumal. How he got there
School pomatia.
is
Pocket money
quite
வேணும்.
obvious.
Ni school pole, உன்னை உதப்பேன் தெரியுமா?
Pocket money எனக்கு வேணும் அப்பதான் நான் ஸ்கூல் போவேன்.
Dai, kutte!
One day I refused to go to school unless I was given pocket money. My grandfather refused and insisted that I go to school. And when I still refused, then he chased me to the school all the way. He simply picked up a small twig on the road and kept me beating right from the house till I reached my seat in the school. And I don't think I ever refused to go to school from that day onwards. And that incident really made me a good student and probably a better person today.
The satellite is in
Hardly
the orbit.
would the gallant old man have guessed that his little Kutti Thambi would be the man behind
Velocity
India's
and the
accomplishment.
trajectory that the vehicle took exactly as we had planned.
The other very important influence I had in my education is my mother. She understood the importance of education even in those days, and she was very insistent that all of us, my brothers, sisters, every one of us do very well in education. And we were all brought up at my grandfather's house at Thuthukudi, and my mother, who lived in a village, used to make frequent visits, and each one of the visits she will din into our heads the importance of education. I did my engineering from Alapachettiar College of Engineering and Technology at Karaikudi, about 100 kilometers east of Madurai. I was from the beginning interested in machines and mechanical systems, and naturally I chose mechanical engineering for specialization. I did my post-graduation from Indian Institute of Science. I thought the aircraft were almost the ultimate machines and was always fascinated by them. So I chose aeronautics and specialized in aircraft structures. My first employment was at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. I was assigned to the testing group. This was a small group of 13 people led by Mr. Gurudat. I worked there for 3 years, which I would say converted me from a raw graduate engineer to a mature engineer who can do the actual work.
In October 1970, Dr. Perumal joined the Indian Space Research Organization as head, testing division on the SLV program. A series of progressively challenging responsibilities then followed. As Deputy Director, PSLV project in 1980 and Project Director, GSLV in 1996.
In fact, would be if we can have improve the propellant loading to something additionally than what the GK people are delivering.
The additional job I really had in GSLV project is with reference to managing the cryogenic contract with the Russians. It was first time It gave me an opportunity on managing an international contract. I think I did a good job in that also.
Meanwhile, on the personal front, life had been equally rewarding. In 1970, Dr. Perumal married Padma. In due course, the couple befittingly named their daughters Priyadarshini and Indira, respectively.
Padma was very supportive in my career, and starting with the late 70s, when the SLV program went to the Sriharikota for the launchpad operations, the level of touring became very large. And particularly when I got into PSLV, it looked as though most of the time kind of I was coming to Trivandrum to just for change of clothes. So it was possible for me only because of her understanding and her ability to manage the family.
My biggest complaint about him is he never used to talk about others particularly. Then even when he is getting promotion or anything also, I used to come to know through neighbors or friends only. Afterwards only he will tell. He will always in a hurry.
But his every major project was keenly followed by two of his greatest fans.
Of course, we have a great sense of pride with every launch that happens, like whether it was PSLV D2 or PSLV D3 or whether it was GSLV. I mean, like we would keenly watch every launch. We know how much effort has gone into every launch, and we're so proud of him.
Since our father was traveling a lot, not living with us a lot as compared to my mother, the person who was not with us all the time is the one we idolize, and he's the one who pampers us when we come home. Because my mother would always be a good disciplinarian with us. We wouldn't have turned out good without both, I think.
And as girls, they were obviously kind of father pecked, and they were very quiet, intelligent kids, willing to manage on their own.
Everybody who meets him, they're so comfortable with him. Like whether you're an elderly person or even if you're a youngster, even a kid, he knows how to relate to everybody.
But there are a lot of times, emotionally when there's family-oriented things, or if something bad happens, or if something good happens, he is not the person who gets overjoyed or overstressed or over-emotional. At least not visibly in front. I've never seen him that way. He would it seemed to me that always he would distance himself from the situation, and he would look at it, scientifically analyzing what went wrong.
What I feel most proud of him is that he can talk about virtually anything under the sun. Like he can talk about movies, he can talk about music, he can talk about he can joke. He has a great sense of humor, and he's a great person to be with.
He's a normal person. Whether in success or failure, he never expresses.
That's Dr. Perumal, 100% product of the Indian education system. A man who says he spent more time on the playground in school and college.
Throughout my career in school, college, including my postgraduate studies in Indian Institute of Science, I have spent considerable part of my time in the playground. But one game, right from the beginning, I hated and I do hate is cricket.
Who has rational and forthright views.
I am an atheist from a very religious family. I do appreciate the idea of God as a very strong psychological probe for many people. It's only that I decided I don't need such a probe. I read very many Tamil novels, including many translations of the Marathi author Visa Kondekar. Religion should be a personal affair. It should have no reflection whatsoever on public life. The multiplication of TV channels today is natural, but unfortunately all of them depend upon Bollywood. That is unfortunate. The Indian politics today is mercenary and feudalistic. My wildest dream is to get into politics, to straighten up the system, by insisting on Panchayat Raj as an alternative administrative setup.
Sure, he would, because he strongly believes
that everybody is a good person at heart. He says everybody has to be 60% good. Nobody can be more than 40% bad.
And for someone who knows how to put satellites in place, a few errant mortals should be no big deal.